And welcome back to Flexible Games, where we are playing Captain of Industry. And I've got another stage here that I can use for oil. And I want to go ahead and use it. Let's clear all of that. Trucks are on hand. Look at that. So this takes our light oil that we're producing here, cracks it further down into steam high, or uses steam, so I need to extend my steam, but it produces naphtha and fuel gas for us. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and connect this up. And you want some steam, like so. All right, and we are getting a little low on oil here. Yeah, we're getting low. So I have encouraged the extension of our tech. I have cleared out a lot of my researches that I had queued up. I might even want to take this one already started though, and I don't know if it saves the progress. If you eliminate it while it's in process of researching. But I want exhaust filtration. That's one thing I want before we go into the next research lab, because the next research lab will allow us to get hydrogen production, heavy oil cracking, and the chemical plant 2s, which are going to be vital for my sort of end game oil setup, because I don't think there's a lot left as far as oil goes. There might be something. There's a little bit here with CO2, but yeah, I think once we have these heavy oil cracking, chemical plant 2, and hydrogen production, I think that will allow us to get a little bit further and allow me to lay out my sort of end game, because we are getting low. We're only down to about a quarter of what this had in it. And yeah, we're gonna need some more stuff. So this guy, I can burn some fuel gas from him, because now that we've cut off his light oil supply, now he's only got heavy oil to burn, and we're only making 6 a minute, whereas this thing wants 24 a minute. Now we are only using, let's see, we're using 9, that's 15, that's 18 steam a minute, which I mean is not, yeah, I guess it's not too bad here. But we also got to remember we got some output here. The fuel gas, I think we're just going to route this around and in. Let's tuck it in like that. Okay, and we still have the flare here to flare any excess. Should we, you know what I think we should do with the fuel gas at the very least? We are going to copy this. I could have put this back a little bit further. I want to put a tank down. Something like this. And then another flare. Like that, and then I'll prioritize the tank. Just to keep some around, you know? Because why not? Oh, I didn't mean to boost that. Okay, let's see. Now we've got the naphtha, and the naphtha is actually a useful thing. So I want to keep a large amount of that. We're gonna just kind of tuck this in over here with a decent pipe out like that. And let's build that. Otherwise, these are going to back up, and it's going to be complaining to me. All right, so now we're actually cracking down that light oil, and we're no longer just burning it. We're getting a useful material out of it, which is the naphtha. And we are going to be getting, wherever it might be, there's some fuel gas coming in. So it should prioritize to the tank first. Now, with this flare, I think I'm just going to, let's see. I'm going to take that out and see how it does without the flare. If my heavy oil starts backing up, where is that coming out? Probably right here. Yeah, that's probably where it's at. Because we're going to be getting quite a lot of fuel gas. 18 fuel gas per cycle. So we're not burning medium. We're not burning light oil anymore. We're not going to be burning ethanol. Naphtha, I don't think we're going to be burning at all. Okay, so what can we do with this naphtha? Well, glad you asked. Naphtha can be made into plastic. Where is it at? Right here. Naphtha combined with chlorine equals plastic. For some, I don't know what the chemistry is involved in that, but it is what it is. Naphtha plus chlorine equals plastic. And we have a decent amount of chlorine over here. I have been producing it just with the brine that I get from desalination. So yeah, I have chlorine. So what we can do is first of all, what machine do we need? Not the rubber maker. Where is it? There it is. Polymerization plant, bingo, is gonna need chlorine. There's the exhaust and the plastic. So we're gonna want a small tank, small-ish tank of chlorine brought in, right? And we're gonna have a pipe for you and a pipe. Oh, I wish it would click properly. There we go. And we need to do something with the exhaust. Unfortunately, I am, the exhaust filtration is in the process. I don't have it yet. And unit storage, let's store some plastic. There we go. How many workers? We got plenty of workers. Let's go ahead and kick that into gear. So the truck should be bringing me some chlorine. And yeah, we should be using up this naphtha. This is going to be giving me 12 a minute. This is going to be using 12 a minute. And the plastic, right click that. The plastic is used in all the medical stuff and the next level of electronics, which we're not quite there yet. We haven't researched that yet. But yeah, we can get the next level of electronics using lots and lots and lots of plastic. Look at that, 12 plastic. Yeah, it's a lot of plastic. And you don't have a recipe, so let's give you some naphtha. The naphtha. Okay. We got to keep an eye. I got an alert out for this thing. I mean, we are just barely tickling the edge of having enough. Oh, I'm glad it's still consuming some heavy oil. I want to prioritize the heavy oil in. Let's prioritize that. Okay, that's a good idea. That'll make sure the heavy oil never backs up and we get a little bit of backup of fuel gas. So Why is this not working? Maybe we have... There's some trucks. Yeah, I knew some trucks were coming in. What are you carrying? Oh, you're going to refuel. All right, so there is a load of chlorine. Good times. Yeah, it doesn't use a lot. It's two chlorine for every craft. 2 chlorine give you 16 plastic, so it's a pretty decent amount. You're not going to burn through too much chlorine. And I thought this used chlorine. Where is this getting its... Oh, there it is. So I guess you bring in chlorine in too. Okay, I like that. So the other things I want to mention, I have sort of a test world, a separate world that I've been playing just to get into it and get further along and sort of learn, make mistakes in the other one, and be able to bring the knowledge I gain into the series, so it's a little bit more streamlined. And I am just not happy with anything that's happening in this area. This is just such a mess and not ideal. We're not automatically loading electronics or parts into these, so my trucks are super busy because of all of the manual moving of material that I have to do. Like, I don't mind moving like household goods up to the idea place up here, right? I don't mind that because we're only going through like 12 a minute, and so it 5-6 minutes go by before it has to queue that up again. But yeah, I just don't like how much manual moving we have, and I don't really have room to expand a whole lot. Like copper, right now copper is just atrocious. There's no room in there, and unfortunately I didn't really plan on having a lot of room in here either. So I might have to move some of my farming stuff up here, where we have a nice big area, and then I can use this area over here for a new copper smelting area, or alternatively I could use this area. I hate using dirt based stuff for things, because dirt is good for growing things, and if you use it for a bunch of industry, it's places you can't build farms anymore. I am trying to chew this mountain down, get this all chewed up, and expanding our area a bit here. And this is my future area for oil in here. So I have an oil set up. It may fit in here. I think in my test world I come out a little bit further into the ocean, out here. So it's going to be a tight fit, I think. But if I get rid of some of this stuff and flatten this area out, I could probably make it work. Yeah, I think what we're going to do, and I don't like this at all in here. This is not really movable. I don't think this was a good idea. Like, there's some design decisions that I made in here that I regret, especially like this in here. Like, oh man, this is just not ideal at all. Because expanding steel is something I'm going to want to do, and yeah, we're not making nearly enough steel right now, and it's really not an expandable system. And then we have this enormous mountain of iron over here. So there's a secondary iron spot, and I might want, an iron setup over here for this entire spice. And then we need to get into here, because this is where the gold is at. We look here. This is the gold in the world right here. And so we actually have to bridge over to it before we can even get to it, which is going to be rough. It's going to be a lot of digging So, doing all of these changes without collapsing our economy or our population is going to be a rough. It's going to be a rough thing. So I think we have plenty of fertilizer to go around. Yeah, we have this fertilizer up in here. We're keeping it pretty good. And then all my food stuff is on this side. So we got ethanol. We have vegetables, which we're always hurting on vegetables. Boy, population chews through a lot of vegetables. Anyway, the ethanol, that will be for all of the hospital-like things. We have a clinic here, and we want to get into some of that. Okay, so how do we want... Oh, man. This is just all awful. This is just all... Yeah, and see, this isn't flat. So what I think what I'm going to do... Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take these guys over here. We're going to edit this area. I would like them to focus on this spot in here. What can be dumped here? I'm not going to dump sand. You guys, I want to mine all of this flat. Right? Just mine that flat. Now we got to kind of protect this area. Because if this collapses, we would have a bad day. Right? This would be a bad day. Actually, let's take this and cancel and do a corner. Because we're going to take out the stuff in the front, too. We're going to take all of this down. All right. Now... Unity build, all of that. There we go. And that will protect that stuff from collapsing. Because I want to use some of this space. I want to start redesigning what we have here. And then we're gonna try to start designing our end game oil. Because I can supplement this oil for a little while. See, we're already filling up on fuel gas, which is fine. That's why I have the tank here. A little bit of extra fuel gas, because it burns a little cleaner than regular old like oil. Right? Oil is just crazy. 60 exhaust. That's a lot of air pollution. 48 CO2 is not really that bad. So you can see 60 exhaust gives you 30 air pollution. 60 carbon dioxide. I think that's what we would get. Yeah, CO2. So it's half. It's half of the pollution for the same amount of emissions. It shouldn't be any. I mean, just emitting CO2 shouldn't be very bad at all. And look at that. We have some plastic coming in. Okay, so these guys have started digging here. We have a spot. As soon as I clear some of this, right, I'm going to start designing something. Something is going to have to go in there. What are you doing? Cannot reach destination. How is that possible? He must have been like, I don't know, in a bad way. Set up wrong. And I've started piling up iron. So these guys here, you're allowed to dump iron ore. I just want to clear as much of this as possible. And I still have a ton of low-level trucks running around. I don't know whether or not I should replace them all with the bigger trucks, because the bigger trucks obviously use more maintenance. Let's see, how much maintenance? 1.8 a minute, and the small trucks 0.9. So the big trucks use twice as much maintenance as the small trucks. Not ideal. And then this area over here, this is my glass making. This was a horrible choice to put that. I didn't even hook up the glass mix yet. I think I just deleted that because we had so much broken glass over here. And I realized that you want to prioritize the broken glass above the glass mix, right? So, yeah, that makes sure that the broken glass gets processed first. Okay, we have a ton of sand. And I want to get rid of this in here. Do we have the mixer recipe for filtration? We do not. So there is a recipe, I think it's in the mixer. Really? Filter medium? Okay, we definitely don't have that unlocked yet then. Does that come with this? No, doesn't come with the next level. I don't know what unlocks it. Chemical plant 2? No. No. There it is. Wastewater treatment. Filter media, gravel, sand, and coal. Allows you to filter and get more water out of the wastewater treatment. And the filter media is going to be important later on. It's going to be used to filter the toxic slurry, right? So toxic slurry is one of those that you can process with the filter media. I think you can process it with this. Yeah, there is filter media in here, even though we can't make that yet. It does show you that recipe, which is nice. But anyway, yeah, and this is flaring off the little bit of fuel gas that we're getting. I'm not too worried about that. A little bit of flaring is fine. My health is not doing so hot, but okay. So how are these guys doing? I mean, they're making little bits of progress. Okay, how do we want to design all of this? This is just an awful setup. What I'm thinking is we're gonna want a new copper smelting. It would be nice to be able to do this with the advanced smelting, because that would unlock the blast furnace 2, which would allow me to crush the stuff, use the limestone. Yeah, crushed sand. Oh yeah, sand. I guess iron needs limestone, but copper needs sand. Interesting. I didn't know there was a difference. But that would be a nice constant use for sand. And as you can see, you get more return for each unit. It's 36 in, 48 out. Versus, I mean, the old stuff was not as lucrative. So if we want to design something, I'm thinking we're going to want to design it going this direction. So facing away, because the ore is going to come in right here. And how far in? So the ore sticks up pretty far. So we could basically have a big unit storage for copper. I want to give myself some space. And then this crusher, you got to elevate. Yeah, see, you got to elevate the stuff, so you can't sneak it in close. So we're gonna bend these off to the side here a little bit. Now, I think the new blast furnace, is it the same size as this one, or is it a bigger footprint? I can't remember. I've got them in my test world. I don't have them available to build here. But anyway, we're gonna want 2 blast furnaces in here. Maybe even split. And I'm not going to build any of this stuff until I know exactly what the footprint is. And then this one we're going to flip to be that. So the outputs are sort of blended together there. And then we're going to have the metal caster, which there is a separate version of. We're going to want 1, 2, 3, 4. Like that. Because each one of these can actually handle 2, 24, and this is 12. But the version that's up above this, like the level 2, it just basically doubles all of your output. So it still works out. We're going to want this. No. No. Why? Can we cancel? Do that. There is no middle ground here, unfortunately. I mean, I could space this out 1, and it would be nice and even. But remember, we still have another step to go for these, and that is the copper electrolysis. Now, do we want... If we go like 1 here and 1 there, 1 there, and 1 there. See, the problem with that is it's got the wings on it are crazy. So we're gonna cut. Let's see if we can't squeeze these. Try to eke a little bit more out of here. Okay, so that goes in. And and that's the pipe that goes in. So I actually want to space these out a little bit, because I don't think we can have a pipe. Maybe we could do, if we tried this, like that. Nope. Copy. Like that, right? And then we cancel this. We cancel that. So that pipe junction now can go towards both of those. However, the problem is then the input here. So I need a conveyor going in like that. Take this, smush it up against that, cancel that, cancel that. There we go. Now we have a pipe connector and a connector there. You know, with my luck, the next iteration of these is going to be like 1 square bigger. That's just my luck. So if we copy this, flip it, place it, then we can take this, combine it up to that, we don't need to go too high. Okay, and then this one into there. And then this one. Let's see. We don't actually need that to go up at all, come to think of it. There. And the acid, of course, we're going to have to come in here and push it in. It's going to come right down the middle here, and it's going to have a branch going off this way and a branch going off that way. It should work rather well. And that is a nice setup. However, it's not complete until I can get the next level of things and see how well that fits. Because I can take an individual item out of here, right? And replace it with the next level. And then I can copy that whole setup and then boom, place as many of them as I want. I also want to do this something similar with iron and steel. Iron especially will be a little easier because there's not going to be that second electrolysis step. There's not going to be this step here. Steel, however, is going to use that cooled caster and the oxygen furnace. Obviously, I'm going to need to bring in oxygen. And I'm thinking, like, instead of building it down here, I don't need it built down here. I can route iron and steel just like I can route copper from someplace else. And since this is going to be a giant future iron mine, I may want to put it up here somewhere. As soon as this tree guy actually does his job, and clears a bunch of trees. Like, don't we have, like, trees? Where are trees coming in? Or wood? There it is. Yeah. So you're not emptying out salt. Yeah, is my salt supply dwindling? Nope, not even close. I think my trucks are just so busy because not very little of my base is automated. All right. Well, at least we started designing something new. The copper. The copper setup, I think will be good, because as soon as we can build this, I can move the digging. All this digging, I can move it to be based down here, and so they can dig at it from this direction. I think that'll really, really help. So for now, what we're going to try to do is maybe dig as much as possible in the space that we have identified here, and maybe even try to dig down. Can I edit this area? Yes, I can. So what we're going to allow to be dumped here is copper ore. And then we're just going to dump on an angle all of the copper ore. Right? Just a massive, massive amount of copper ore. And then the digging part of things. So this is base 2. You can see we're at height 2. This is height 5. So in here, what I think we're going to do is we're going to set 4, 3, 2. And then that can come out like that. And that'll bridge these two areas a little bit better. And now they'll just dig and dig and dig and dig and dig. Their copper ore will, this should be a pretty high priority, right? But they shouldn't be just sitting around with dump trucks full of copper. They should be able to dump it and create a nice big ramp, just like they're doing here, of pure ore. And that'll help flatten all this area out, and it'll just help. It'll just help a lot. All right, so these guys are busy working on this as well. Good times. And that's going to do it for this episode. And I thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.